guys, this is my birthday book haul video. I am opening up the presents that I bought myself, which was a whole bunch of books, so yay. This is my birthday book haul. Alright, here we go. So there was one that didn't fit inside this box and it came separate, so I wrapped it. I didn't have any wrapping paper at all, so I found packing material from something I bought recently and I literally just wrapped everything in that. Lovely. I think my first book haul video was also for my birthday last year. Everything is for my birthday last year. This one is The Man He Never Was. It is sort of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of a book, except that the main character guy, who was not nice to his family, but nice to everybody else, disappears for a few months. When he comes back, all of a sudden he has amnesia, doesn't remember anything about where he was, but he's actually a nice guy now to his family like he was to everybody else. And so as he starts to remember, he starts to go back to the guy he used to be. It's a bit of a struggle of good and evil. Oh, I just got a birthday message. This is nice. So sweet getting birthday messages, and I forgot that I was wearing my watch. Okay, the rest of them came in this box. And I actually went to Kurong.com. They gave me a birthday voucher. I love birthday vouchers, don't you? And I ended up spending so much money. This box is taped. I'm gonna have to get scissors. Hang on. The first book that I found was Raiders from the Sea. It is Viking Quest Book 1. This is a young adults, like a kid's book, I think. What is it? Irish Viking type of a story where this girl, that would be her, saves someone from drowning and then realizes actually he's like this big important Viking dude person, and they get her and her brother get taken to his land as prisoners. And then there's like a really big long saga. I think there's 6. They're very small, they're very short. I read it when I was in school and I remember loving the series. I loved the book because they're so little. They're like, this is tiny. It'll be a really quick read. I can't go past buying a Ted Dekker book, especially if I'm getting a whole bunch of books. There's still quite a few Ted Dekkers that I don't have yet, and I love him. He is at present my favorite author. And so this one is Blessed Child. It's about a young orphan boy who was raised in a monastery and has never been to the outside world, but then goes to the outside world and people find out that he actually has this amazing power of healing, to be able to heal people, and then of course everybody wants to know or use him, and there's political intrigue and peril, and there's bad guys who want to destroy him. It's Ted Dekker, so it's going to have some sort of like life-altering, mind-bendy stuff happening, but I love that about Ted Dekker. Oh, this one, I didn't, This one is called Airborne by Diane Mills, and I actually didn't realize it was released in 2020, and it's quite ironic because it's literally the story about an airborne virus that is released on purpose in an airplane, and everybody starts getting sick around an FBI agent, and she has to figure out who released this on purpose and why, and also they have to try and stop the spread, make sure it doesn't get out of control to become this huge pandemic. The irony of this being released in 2020. Normally books are written over the course of at least a year, if not more than that, so I would be interested to know when it was released, because it potentially was actually written and planned before things went crazy in the world, and I would find that a really big coincidence. Quite ironic, but it sounded interesting anyway. Her husband is the one accused of releasing this virus because he investigates all of these crazy viruses and diseases, and it seems like he's the one who did it, so she's gonna try and prove he didn't. I didn't get nearly as many this year, so there's only 2 left. However, they are 2 good ones. There are also, I have 2 books coming from Word Bookstore, but I will talk about those in a minute. The Griffin Heist, and it's by James Hannibal. So it's essentially a story about, the Griffin Heist is relating to, there is a floating information vault called the Griffin Vaults, and so that's what it's referring to. This CIA lady is sent somewhere in Europe that isn't glitzy glam. She thinks she's only going to be there for a short time, but finds out there's going to be, you know, criminals trying to access all the data. That's not good. And so she ends up staying and working with a civilian partner who is kind of shady, and she has to try and work out if he is working for his own purposes or to actually help her. It's like a heist book, which would be really fun. All of the spy / heisty stuff happening. The last book that came from Kurong in my book haul was 9 by Rochelle Decker. This lovely lady, I now own 3 of her books and haven't read one yet. They're on my lists to read and they all sound really great. I think I got 2 from the Sia series, but this one is 9. It's a standalone, and it's essentially about a woman who sees a teenage girl come to her diner. Yeah. She walks into her diner and has no idea who she is, but only knows that there is someone out there who she needs to see, who can save her. And she goes on the journey with this teenager to try and find this woman who is either going to help save them from whatever it is that's chasing them, or she will potentially be the last person to see them alive. It was also released in 2020, so I think this is probably the latest of her books. Very mysterious on the front cover, and I don't know what 9 is referring to, even though it's called 9. I have no idea what that means. The other 2 books that I got from Word Bookstore, which is an online bookstore, and I am waiting because they had to be special ordered, which is why I got them from Word. One of them is by, I think, Stephen James. I believe it's the first book in a series, and it is essentially a guy hunting a serial killer who plays mind games. That seems to be like serious mind games, like, you know, like figure out the puzzle, you die mind games, and you're not a Sherlock Holmes, you know what I'm saying? But like, you gotta try and figure it all out. I love books like that or stories like that where the bad guy is really, really clever and the good guys have to figure out all of these puzzles and answers. I would hate that in real life. But as a story, it's really interesting. That would be terrifying in real life. I feel like that's not very fair to do to people, just to prove that you're smart, I suppose. Stupid reason for that. The second and last book that I bought for myself for my birthday is called Expiration Date by Eric Wilson, and it's essentially a story about a guy who finds out that for some weird reason he knows the date and time of when people are going to be killed, and there is a serial killer killing people at the moment. Balance the fact that he knows this information and also that there is a serial killer, and I think the killer is challenging him in some way, form, potentially. I'm not 100% sure, but I am really excited for this one. I actually bought a book a while ago which is called A Time to Die, I think, and it's part of a series where everyone in the entire world is literally working on a clock of when they're going to die, and so they know like the hours, minutes, and seconds, sort of like in time, but a little bit different because you can't buy time. It just, when it ends and you die, supposedly. But there is some sort of big conspiracy, I think. So I've got another book which is sort of in a similar vein, I suppose, of knowing when you're going to die and then figuring out what you're going to do about it. But that's from the perspective of the girl who is dying. So that was my birthday book haul. That's what I bought myself for my birthday. I was really excited about all these books. Look, there's so many books. And I already have a whole bunch in my bookshelf. So just add them to the pile of things that I now have to read. Aww. I am in lockdown when I'm recording this video. I don't know whether I will still be in lockdown when I release it. Potentially, and hopefully not, but I still will have some time to read, so yay for me. You can check my Goodreads page out if you like to see what I thought about some of these or some other ones that are also on my list. Thanks so much for coming on this book haul, birthday book haul with me. I'll see you guys in the adventures.